you've created this beautiful piece of content on your website and you're feeling really good about it. Now, what do you do with it? Hi, I'm Kara with Kara Renninger Consulting, and I'm here today to talk to you about content creation. From soup to nuts, everything from planning your content to getting it out there. So I want to share with you a story about a client who I've worked with who really had some great ideas for content, but was not feeling confident about how to get it out there. So what we did is we started with coming up with a list of ideas that she had for content to really solidify that for her. And by doing that, it helped her feel a little more confident about what she wanted to share. The next step that we did was we went out and did a Google search for the topics that she wanted to present on. And by doing that, we saw what other people are sharing about that content. And that lets you know, is that a topic that might be worth pursuing? Is that a topic that people are searching for? And that's one way that you can find that out is do a Google search. Then by doing a Google search, we started to think about titles for the content that she wanted to create. What would be a good title that would get people to want to click on it if they did a Google search and they happen to come across this topic? I have a tool that I really like to use called CoSchedule Headline Analyzer, and I highly recommend it. Take your ideas from your Google search and your topics, put them into CoSchedule Headline Analyzer, and it'll help you modify the title so that it's something that really will draw people in and they'll want to click on it. And so the client was using that tool, coming up with her best headlines. And this is an area where we ran into a challenge because for her, she ended up spending too much time, she felt like, with analyzing the headline. And so that's something to be mindful of for yourself. Plan the amount of time that you want to spend on each of these activities so that you don't spend too long in one area and end up getting stuck by it. You know, all the tools that I share are just tools to help you make progress. And if you're finding that they're making you get stuck, then it's not a tool for you. So that's one option on how to plan what your content's going to be. It's also good to sit down with a calendar and think about what's coming up in the next couple months that you might want to be talking about on your calendar. For example, if you work with women and you coach women on living a better life, let's say, and it's just before back to school time. Well, certainly you might not want to be putting out brand new content then when a lot of women aren't going to be online being able to search it. Or for example, during certain holidays, if your market is in the US, you might not want to put things out during, like, say, Labor Day weekend or something when a lot of people are away and not really available. So look at the calendar, think about that. And then you want to think about your content pillars. Like, what are you about as a brand? What do you like to share with people? And what are also some fun things you can add into your sharing that it's not just going to be all negative and learning and teaching? And so some fun things. Now, I recommend starting with a longer form piece of content, such as a blog or a podcast post on your website. And from there, creating content that you're going to use on your social media to help promote that piece of long form content. If you really think about it, so many clients I work with end up writing the most amazing Instagram captions, Facebook posts, and these should really be more permanent products on their website and help them with getting traffic to their business. And so if that's you, if you're spending time writing these awesome, amazing posts for social media, stop now and go turn it into a blog or a podcast post for your page on your website. And then use it to also create content for social media. So the purpose of social media is to help drive traffic to your website, to engage with your clients, and to help you grow leads for your business. And so choose from your content the best portions that you can use to help do that. You can pull some video content and create a reel. You can pull some quotes from what you've said in the content that you've created in the video to create a few quote static images or carousel posts to help share information. You can turn that video that you pull, it can be a reel. It can also be a longer form video. You can share the entire video on social media. These are all things that'll be helpful for you that you can turn into audiences who viewed your videos on your social media and can use them to retarget later for advertising. So I like to have clients choose, 2 to 4 pieces of content that they're going to share to promote that piece of content that you wrote. So if you're going to create let's just say a blog post for the purposes of this video. If you're creating a blog post and you have a video with it of you sharing the content, just like I'm doing right here now, and it's on a page on your website, and then you have the page copy written, and you can do that from the transcript of what you said by modifying it, and then by looking at what subheadings you can add using additional keywords by doing research for that. And that's going to turn it into a really great blog post. On that page, you're also going to want to have a way that people can opt in or sign up to give you their email by giving them some sort of freebie tool. In this video, I'm actually going to give you my PDF on how to start a blog. So if you want that, click the link on or around this video and sign up for that today. So back to the content here. So you've created this beautiful piece of content on your website and you're feeling really good about it. Now what do you do with it? You choose 2 to 4 pieces of content that you're going to use to promote this piece of sharing that you have on your social media. And so it can be a few video clips that you can turn into reels. It can also be, like I said, some of the quote graphics. And another thing that you can do is find the key points from the article and create those into graphics. Those would be great for a carousel. So if you're giving 3 tips on how to live your best life, you could have 1 on each slide and share that in your social media and in your stories. Now, the best strategy is to share your content over a 3 to 4 period week of time. Remember, only a low percentage of your followers will actually see your content. So you need to make sure that you're sharing about this new piece of content that you've created multiple times in multiple different ways. Because, you know, just like us, you never know what's going to strike you one day that you're going to need to hear or need to hear the way it's said or see a video about something and really be drawn in. So don't be afraid. Don't just create a piece of content for your website and put it out there on social media. And if you don't get the engagement you want, don't just give up. When I create content, and what I do with my clients is I recommend that you create the 2 to 4 pieces of content right up front when you do it. And then you use that to keep sharing about that content. And then that lets you do some testing. It lets you see what are people really interested in and what is going to get people to actually want to click and come to my website and maybe sign up for that freebie that I'm offering or a paid workshop or whatever it is that you're trying to draw people in with. So be prepared to create the content and let it get out there and get tested and use that for data. You know, you really can't fail here. You can either succeed or you can learn something, right? And if you use this strategy, it will definitely give you data to help you make decisions in your business about how to create content and how to get people in. And you really need to treat this as a business, you know, especially if you're doing your own social media or if you have a team doing your social media for you in your business. It's really important that data is what makes decisions. So for anybody who's doing social media, yourself or the team, I always recommend collecting data about engagement, about follows, about likes, about comments, about hiding things or unfollowing you related to each piece of content. And you can do that to help you decide, does my audience like that content? Does that resonate with them? Did it not resonate with them if they hid the content and didn't like it? I remember in one business where I was an employee years ago, we had done that with some memes, and it turned out that the audience actually really didn't favor them, and we had gotten a lot of unfollows from that. So you have to be aware of the data to help you make a decision, not to personally feel bad about it, but to help you decide what's the next best thing I should do in my business. And if you have a social media manager in your business and you're at that point, it's really great to have the social media manager collect that data every week so that they can start to use that to change their own behavior about how they're managing your social media. And what I like to do is have a meeting each week about that, to look at the data together and to get from the social media manager their recommendations on what type of changes we should make to help continue to achieve our engagement goals and our growth goals. And if you're managing your social media yourself, make an appointment with yourself and do the data analysis yourself and have a separate meeting. It's really good to be able to neutrally observe in your business and take a step back. So if you're struggling with creating content that's going to be good and engaging for your audience, what we covered in this video is creating content based on strategies to continue to share the content, directing it back to one piece of content on your website so that you can measure data over time and collect data on the engagement of the content that you shared on social media to see if it helped you achieve your goals. If it didn't, make an action plan on how you can improve for the next week in the business. So if you like this tip, leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can learn more tips from me on how to grow your business and scale with more ease.